Initially, I grew up in a small country town in southwestern Queensland, and my father had a garage. And one morning he woke me up and said, "There's a new manager of Goodyear across the street. He's looking for a young guy to start off there. Would you like to do it?" And I said, "Yeah." So I got up and went over and started off with Goodyear. And yeah, I really enjoyed the work. I had done a few tyres when I was driving trucks, but I was only 18 years of age and I started there and enjoyed it. The recognition is unbelievable. I went out, once I realised that the number of tyre servicemen that were being injured and worse, I decided to put together a training program, and I also started sending anyone who was going to work on our team to a medical assessment before they started, because I myself had issues with my lower spine and I had the first operation on it in 1975. So I didn't want that to happen to anyone else. So that started me off, and from there it was a lifetime of attending conferences, attending trade shows, speaking at conferences for transport operators and all the above, to get everyone in the industry that was working with tyres to realise, one, just how hazardous they can be, and to ensure that people are all trained so as they do not have accidents and worse. So that's what started me off, and I followed that through to today. Extremely proud. The man I mentioned earlier, where I first worked in the tyre industry, in Goodyear in St. George in Western Queensland, his son is now one of our top men on our team. The man's name is Don Bennett, and his stepson is Locke Bennett. And they're all from the country town that Diane and I were born and bred in. And we have a number of people from that town who are a part of the team. So, yes, we're extremely proud of that, Kevin, and extremely proud of the people who joined the team. I never like the word employees. I like team members. And I'm a captain coach. I won't ask anyone to change a tyre that I can't change. So that's the way we looked at it, that's the way we ran it, and that's the way it's still run today. And it works extremely well, and we're very, very proud of that. And extremely proud when we heard that TIA was considering giving us the nod of approval for what we have done by induction into the Hall of Fame. Thank you. It is appreciated. We were at that BHP mine up in the Northern Territory in the top of Australia, and I started to record by individual tyres, their serial numbers, on their brand, their performance, how many times we could retread the casings, and how much productivity the trucks with these tyres were producing. So it was a lot more than just keeping tab on the life of a few tyres. We really went to work on working it out. Well, I thought it'd take 2 or 3 months. It took just about 3 years to get that. I had to ask Diane, up at the mine, you had to ask permission to use the phone, and you had a 10-minute permission to use the phone. And I phoned Diane and I explained to her, because I knew that she had been working, this is how long ago it is, with a computer. And I asked her about it. Do you think that she could use the computer to track the tyres rather than me try and do it with pencil and paper? And she said yes, she did think that she could do that. And to this day, she tells me that's the second time she said yes to me. It's not a laughing matter here sometimes. But yeah, that is how it came about. That is what we did. That is how we did it. And the total tire control, which was what we named the first product, it's still named total tire control. And I'm sitting currently in my home, and just not far from where I'm sitting, there's a copper tapped out art piece about so big of an eagle landing. When we started to build the system, we didn't want to call it total tire control because we were registering that all around the world, and the last thing we wanted was anyone to know what we were calling it and try and pinch our name. So I was in Singapore and I went to the Changi prison to have a look with a group of tire people, and I saw this piece of artwork of the eagle landing, and I said to myself, the next day, the rest of the guys went to South Korea, I was going to Indonesia, but I was going to stay there for a couple of days. So I went back out to the prison, Changi prison, and asked the guard if I could purchase the copper art, which I did. And that was the code name for total tire control, was the eagle. And the eagle landed. And then we start to call it total tire control. And I'm only about 10 feet from the copper art, which I bought at the Changi prison in Singapore, off the prisoner who made it, of the eagle landing. The first one would be to find out the person, the company that you're looking at maybe applying for work in the tyre industry. See if you can get to talk to any of their team members quietly. Secondly, ensure that they are conscious of health and safety issues. And as I said earlier, they take you to a doctor and you have a medical, so as you're not starting a new job with an existing health situation. And that everything about tyres can be learned, but before we came along, they weren't teaching the safety, the health and safety. And I know, introduced health and safety into the local people, and then international people, and then tyre industry associations, as you well know. And now we know, as I said earlier, there is just, I think I heard of one fatality in the last couple of years, maybe two. We used to be 10 and 11 and 12 a year. So we have people like, not unlike yourself and our business and TIA and tyre industry associations all around the world have adapted the training that we've had. And with that, they are saving many people's lives and keeping families together. So that is something that I'm equally as proud of. And I know there's people like yourself out there who've done an amazing job of getting the rest of your organisation to work on getting the safe and proper changing of tyres trained into the tyre servicemen, so as they do not hurt themselves or anyone else. First and foremost is Diane Klinge, because she is my co-director of the company, and she wrote the software and let me travel all over the world doing what I was doing. So Diane is a standout. John Funky of Michelin Tires, North America, out in the US of A. There's your good self, Marvin Bozard, and there's a number of presidents of TIA over the years who looked out for me and let me speak at conferences and things like that, so as I could try and get more and more people to be safety conscious, not only sell tyre conscious. Because before I started, everything lived and breathed on sell tyres, sell more tyres, sell more tyres. And really what we needed to be doing was looking after the teams that we had put together, so as they were safely doing the work that we were asking them to do. And our industry became an important part. Look at the highways and byways as you travel around the United States of America. Same here in Australia. All over the world, there's not much moves where you can't travel anywhere without tyres. And I know that and there's that guy, Kevin Rowling, I think his name, he is also a person who listened and really did take on board what I was talking about doing and how I was talking about doing it. And I thank you for that, Kevin, and all the tyre servicemen that are still in one piece, thank you as well, and their families. So God bless you, mate. All said and done, there was yourself, myself, and then we got Roy involved, got his family involved and moved them over there. Yeah, I could not be more proud than I am of Diane, all our team, people like that guy that trained me how to be a tyre fitter, and people like Roy who we trained how to be a tyre serviceman.